Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty well.
Nice. The days are long now.
They are quite long. We were just pre-game chatting about this, that I've been up longer than I maybe wanted to be up because I didn't draw my shades last night. And by 6 o'clock, it's a face full of sunshine.
Yep.
So, yeah.
There are worse things.
There are much worse things, yeah. I can't really complain too much about the long days. It makes for nice long evenings if you're going to do something outside. And
do you sleep with a sleep mask? Like an eye cover?
I have tried that off and on. Like, it usually ends up coming off, or if I put it too tight, then it messes with my ability to fall asleep. So I still haven't quite mastered the mask.
I'm a big fan. I use one every night. And it definitely helps. It's hard for me to get like a room like totally dark, but the sleep mask really does the trick.
I think I would prefer that to like trying to like close every shade, because I kind of like to, I don't know, as I'm drifting off, being able to, well, just winding down, I like to be able to look out the window, you know. So, but I'm a big fan of the white noise machine too, though. That really helps.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Yeah, I do earplugs for that. I've got a whole sleep setup.
I bet you do.
And I've also I think I'm grinding my teeth at night probably.
Oh yeah.
I've looked into like mouth guard things. And it's
Yeah.
like, wow, am I going to really need another piece of kit to go to sleep? Like, I already turned into this crazy isolation thing at night. It's like, God, how many tools I'm going to have like by my bed.
That's hilarious. I did an Invisalign orthodontics a few years ago, and they kind of leave you with like, you're kind of supposed to wear the last tray just to keep things steady or whatever. I think that was a good thing, because I do think that, especially when I'm stressed, I like at least clench my teeth and grind them and wake up with a sore jaw, and that's no fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I notice I'm doing it at random times during the day. I'm like, oh, why am I?
Yep. Yep.
Not the best.
Nope.
So what's going on in your world?
Oh, stuff. Working on stuff. It's funny, so the last few weeks I've kind of, through various false starts, been planning to talk publicly about the product that I've been kind of covertly building for a little while. And I keep telling you I expect by this time I'll have something close to ready to ship into the world. And I wanted to kind of align, introducing it with being able to pretty quickly ship at least like a beta version of the product or whatever. And I'm still saying I'm close, but it's so agonizing how slow this stuff moves. I feel like I have a pretty tight scope on what I want to build before I at least start dog fooding it and then start, putting it in the hands of kind of my earliest users. But man, sometimes it just feels like I'm making, inches progress when I'm picturing like making a huge stride this week, So
What do you feel like the biggest contributors are to that?
Certainly my own perfectionism is always a struggle. I do tend to put more polish on parts that don't necessarily need it right away. And so I think there's that. There's also just the fact that it's just building good software, like we talked about last week, is just, it's hard. There's so many decisions that go into it. And I think it does take time, and being a solo operator, there's only so many hours in the day. And yeah, so I think it's just something I have to get comfortable with. But
do you have anybody that in your life that would kind of maybe help you with the just ship it part and just tell you Derrick, this is good enough, just go?
I mean, probably you. Probably Rob. I think I have plenty of people around me that if I let them into that, also my mastermind group, we're all kind of particular also about our software. So yeah, I definitely have people around me too who share probably a similar struggle of trying to get things perfect and stuff. So
This is a time where I wonder if having more runway due to having raised makes you a little bit less willing to just go. If the clock were counting down a little faster, you might be like, you know what, I have to cut scope and prioritize and get this out the door.
I'm willing to admit that I probably do have a blind spot. I like to think that that's not the case, but since I'm not in that situation and I do have a little bit of runway, I can't really say whether I mean, I'm sure my feet would be much more to the fire if literally the business is going to run out of cash in 3 months. I better get this shipped, Yeah, you're probably not wrong on that.
do you feel like there's a chance you're over investing in quality or polish or something like that? Or does it just feel like, do you feel like it's mostly that the domain is difficult and you need a fairly high baseline to get what you want?
This is always the question that I have in my head. Like, and I think it's something that a lot of people struggle with these days with minimum viable products, because the quality bar is fairly high, I think, in a lot of spaces. And especially because I'm sort of planning to propose this to my audience of startup-y people, and there's just so many good tools out there for people in our circles. If I were like building this tool for the construction industry or some like brick and mortar industry that has really, really terrible software, and like if it was just slightly less terrible, then this would be a big improvement, then I might be able to get away with more. But I feel like part of my differentiation with this is like I'm trying to build the core piece of interface. I'm trying to build the best iteration of that on the market today, and that's what's going to set me apart. And so I am sort of hanging my initial like coming out to the world with this idea on like, nope, my goal is to pursue building the smoothest interface for this job to be done. And that means I have to invest quite a bit in quality, or else it's going to be like, well, if it's just truly like a duct tape together MVP, then it's like, well, this is not anywhere close to better than what's on the market today. So it's, I can't really use that as my leading innovation,
Yeah.
So I have friends that will tease me that like I just really need to stop building software for smart people or for particular people or for like that can be, I think, at times the hardest audience to try to build for.
Yeah.
Price sensitive and picky and whatever.
Sure. It sounds like a high bar. Like you're going to build the best version of a thing for people that are very picky about the tool
right
alone.
Right.
It's like, wow, that sounds hard.
I know. Like I can't imagine just trying to approach like some market that I don't have intense familiarity with, or like is nothing like me, and trying to sell to them like that feels like a big learning curve to get into the mindset of someone completely different than myself. So I'm just I'm stuck in that way where if I'm going to build for people like me, they're going to be pretty particular.
Yeah, I guess so. Maybe you can flex on that other axis, which is like maybe there's some like narrow part of the wedge where it's like, this is not the best overall thing, but it has this one opinionated decision in it, and that attracts the right kind of person, and you can tell them, look, there's going to be more things like this coming, and so if you like this philosophy, this will work for you.
Yeah. I think that's really what I'm angling for. Like I have, you and I have talked offline. Like I have a whole list of different differentiators, innovations, whatever you want to call them, like power user features that have come up in conversations with people as I've kind of vetted the idea. And one, I think that it would be foolish to try to like lead with all of those and say like, I'm going to tackle all these things out of the gate, or at least, overpromise in that direction. Like, I don't think that's, and I also think it will then like lack a bit of clarity. I'm a fan of like identifying like what's the one really important thing that people should care about when thinking about adopting the software, and I got to pick the narrowest thing that I think will be compelling to people and start with that. And
yeah, when we were building the Tuple Alpha, I remember being pretty convinced we needed certain features and like certain qualities and a certain latency level and all this. And we committed to a launch date and launched. And I remember just being like fairly embarrassed about the state of the product and like feeling like we were under delivering on these things that we thought were like the core value propositions. And it turned out like what we had built was good enough in a bunch of those areas. And it was like, I thought for sure that this part was not good enough, but people say it's better than what they have. And so it was like, wow, okay, well, I guess that's actually not the highest priority thing to work on right now. It's actually something else. I mean, having built a few products before and knowing that you're often wrong about your assumptions and your priorities and your understanding changes as you actually have people start using it. It's easy to get into that state. So you might want to consider prioritizing, shipping something to somebody.
Yeah.
It could be that your assessment of the situation isn't even like directed in the right way right now.
Yeah. I mean, I suspect that I am off target. Like the number of people who instantly get product market fit right out of the gate, I mean, that's very rare. There's something comforting about that like I think you can do all the interviews, you can do all the diligence, you can gather user information, do the mom test, try to gather all this data. And I think you still don't necessarily come out on the other end with like a perfectly aligned product market fit type of situation. That only comes by actually shipping something into the market and seeing what works in reality.
Yep.
So
even like the failure of something to stick or to resonate is learning.
That's data.
It's like, okay, I thought these 3 things were important. Nobody cares. Crap. I need another thing or something.
Yeah.
I think it would be hard not to learn something.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like a date might be helpful? Or are you in like or is that not useful, you think?
Yeah. I'm thinking. I think a date would be helpful, but now the obvious next question is, all right, what's the date? And that's where I'm hesitating.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't ask you to like name a date on the fly on a podcast, but like deciding like, okay, I need something in the market by X, I think might be a useful exercise.
Yeah. I think I will commit to having a date by the next time we record.
Excellent. Cool.
Yeah.
So I've been talking to some executive coaches.
This sounds so fancy. Why are you doing this?
I love coaching. One-on-one coaching is my favorite purchase. I get one-on-one coaching whenever I can because my favorite thing is getting better at something. Like I just find that to be the most interesting, satisfying use of life, basically, is improvement in anything that I'm into at the time. And like one-on-one coaching is just like mainlining improvement. And so I love that.
I like that.
And so like I get one-on-one coaching for like video games. Like that's like, it's just like whatever I'm into, I want coaching. Like I'm into singing, I want voice lessons. I'm into this video game. I'm going to hire a professional player in that video game to teach me how to be better. I'm like into style. I'm going to get a stylist, like all these things. I just like a meta habit for me. But so like the thing I'm doing with most of my time is running Tuple, and Tuple is getting more complicated. So like we have our first full-time person starting in 10 days. We're probably going to hire more people. We have a good number of part-time people, and it's just getting harder than like the 3 of us in a bedroom. Where like, all communication is between us, and it's more complicated. So, and I want to be better at it. So I'm trying to find someone to help me get better at that. And so I've talked to 2 people so far. I think coaching is kind of an interesting industry.
I love how carefully worded this is.
Yeah. So like an executive coach with a bunch of experience wants to charge you like $25,000 for 6 months of coaching, where they meet with you basically once a week, or maybe less, often less. So they want to charge you basically like $1,000 to $2,000 an hour for like Zoom calls, which I think is, kudos to them for charging more and understanding that like the company is paying for it, right? So it's like you charge company rates, not like individual rates. My video game coach was $30 an hour. Yeah. So, but Tuple wouldn't pay for it. So
yeah,
it's funny when you're considering purchasing these kind of items, everyone's very excited to talk to you. You want to jump on a call today? How about in 10 minutes?
Right.
Everyone is willing to take your call because maybe you're going to be, a large deal for them. But there's this thing, like, so I was talking to this coach yesterday. She's like, has a ton of experience. She's like, I've been doing this coaching since 1998. And I'm like, okay, so you haven't had a job or like, you haven't been an executive yourself, it seems like, for
since
quite a long time.
Before 1998. Yeah.
Yeah. And she actually ran a coaching company. So she did have people, she did have like her own sort of thing. So that was not totally true for her. But there is kind of this thing where it's like, okay, if you're coaching, you're kind of not doing the thing. They're distinct activities, right? And so like I'm kind of always like a little skeptical of that situation where it's like if I hired someone who like just stopped being a CEO or like had gone through the exact thing that I had been through recently-ish or was a bit farther ahead of me, that would be like, okay, I can totally see how that experience can help me here. I can also see how coaches could be great without having that experience. Like there's a whole therapist component, I think, to good coaching, where it's like, can you understand this person's like internal motivations and help them debug that, and just be like an accountability partner. Like if it's just like, hey Ben, 2 weeks ago you said you were gonna have done this thing by then. Did you do it? Like even that is useful and doesn't require specific experience, I think.
Also probably wouldn't require 25 grand for
True.
accountability.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then there's this like coachy thing where it's like, it seems to be very steeped in businessy. Like it seems like a lot of the times the companies that are hiring these people are like work for like Coca-Cola or something. So like they send me these documents to say things like, I will provide appropriate frameworks, tools, artifacts, and benchmarks that you can use to develop an aligned strategy with operations and guide you in implementing the governance and performance metrics required to deliver results.
Oh my gosh, that is a
And it's
mouthful of jargon.
Yeah. Like I get what all those words mean, and I get why you would put them all together. But when I see them all together, I'm kind of like, we still are kind of a startup, and you're sounding very businessy. And I want to get more businessy, and that's kind of what we're doing. But I don't know. Plain speech would be sort of nice.
Where do you start your search for this kind of coach?
Yeah. I took a meeting a couple weeks ago. Don't read this the wrong way, but with a VC from a very prominent organization. Like everyone has heard of this group. Still no intention of raising money, but a friend, someone I respect, was like, hey, you should talk to this guy. He's smart. I know you don't want to raise money, but he wants to talk to you. You should talk to him. So I said yes. And we just had a chat, and it was like, clearly we're not a fit for each other. We don't want to raise. Don't worry about it. But he was like, is there anything I can help you with? And I was like, yeah, actually, I'm looking for some CEO coaches. And so these are referrals from this person, which might be why they're like a little bit more on the businessy kind of side, or like a lot of them were kind of like worked with a lot of venture-backed companies, obviously. So it could be that I sort of started from the wrong point, and I might need more like bootstrappery recommendations.
Yeah, it's like interesting because I would think that even like a venture-backed startup, I mean, suppose if they raise buckets and buckets, then they are probably scaling up their people organization really fast and like crash head on into these kind of more traditional business type of problems. But I would think that like, I don't know, these are at least still early stage companies. So you would hope that the coaches that are working with them are kind of attuned to those needs.
Yeah. And like, I could just be wrong. Like these people could be great. I'm just sort of like a feel and making kind of snap judgments. So I haven't ruled out working with like the people I've talked to so far. I might still do that. It didn't feel like a total fit right away. So when I think about like The Great CEO Within, which is this book that I'm a big fan of, written by Matt Machari. And he is a coach. And this book is so well written and full of practical advice in plain language. And it's like, that feels like the kind of coaching I want, I think, a little bit more than providing appropriate frameworks, tools, artifacts, and benchmarks. I think there's probably just like a range of different coaching types. And I think kind of what I want is maybe someone who was more of an operator like I'm trying to become, like actually in the trenches, and then turned to coaching because they like helping people who were going through the same situation, and less like a lifelong career coach who like have been doing this for a long time, and coaching is like their jam, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Are there like specific things that you're feeling like, wow, I'm really deficient in this area, or I just really feel like I don't know what I'm doing in this area? Or is it more like, I don't know what I'm not doing right, I need someone to fill in the unknown unknowns?
It's more the latter than anything.
Yeah.
Like each of these people are like, what are your goals with coaching? Or what's like the motivation? And it's kind of just like global improvement. Like I just think I could be doing probably most things better. And I have certain weaknesses that I want to shore up, but maybe I don't even know what those are yet. I think one thing that some of these coaches do is like they talk to your team, like they do like a kind of a 360 review, and they like get feedback from the people you work with. And then they say, okay, turns out everyone thinks you suck at this. So we should work on this, which sounds very useful.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's less like, oh man, I'm really struggling with X, and more like, I know I could be better. And like in everything I've done, coaching helps. So
yeah,
I should do this.
That's like the stuff that you can't necessarily get from just saying, I have a problem with X and I'm going to find a subject matter expert on X and ping them about this specific, like, you know, I don't know, I'm having trouble figuring out how to run a good hiring process. So I'm going to talk to an expert on hiring processes and figure that out.
Yes.
Like you're looking for
exactly.
the broader, like, help me fill in gaps that I just have in general, which, I mean, to me, that sounds like a more expensive service, you know, because it's like,
totally,
it's more, it's less specific.
And like, the price is a little eye-popping, but it could be worth it. If there is a dramatic improvement in my ability, then that could turn into, you know, Tuple revenue pretty easily. I was a little bit shocked at the price originally, but maybe it's justifiable. I don't know.
Well, I think it's pretty cool that you are thinking about this at this stage, because you guys aren't huge yet in terms of headcount, at least. Like, my guess would be that a lot of times this happens much further down the line when there's already lots of like challenges in the organization, and like I would think that this kind of thing happens as like a crisis lifeline of like, my business is completely out of control and I don't know what I'm doing, So I like this like proactive, it's good.
Yeah, well, thanks. That does seem to be the case. Like a lot of the coaches I'm talking to, like they usually work with people that are at least like 10 people, like companies that are 10 people, or they do seem to have this assumption that like, okay, like what big problem are you coming to me for? Like what conversations do you need to have that aren't being had, or what are the conflicts? And I'm like, I think it's mostly pretty good. Not that we have no conflicts, but there's not like some raging fire that I'm like, oh my God, we need professional help. I think I'm right about that. I hope I'm right about that.
That you know of.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's and that's part of it.
Right.
Is like,
right.
I'm sure I have blind spots, and so I hope someone will help me kind of identify those.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, well, more on this later.
Cool.
But
yeah,
I think it'll be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So I talked to 2 people so far. I have one more scheduled for next week, but I think I'm going to keep talking to people, because it seems like the way you do this is like you do a get to know you meeting and just kind of see how it goes. Honestly, both the people I talk to seem good. They seem effective. I'm hoping to kind of get a couple different styles. Like maybe I can find someone who's different than what I've seen so far, and be like, okay, this resonates more or something.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, cool. Yeah. Curious to hear how that goes.
Yeah, me too. So in other news, we're possibly gonna get an office.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. Not a done deal, but there's this space near where Spencer lives that has opened up. It's sort of apartment-y, like it has a kitchen and looks like that. Looks like a living space, a residential space, but like was previously like a small like bodega kind of grocery store. So it's like first floor retail kind of thing of a residential building.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
We might take it.
Nice.
It started like a very unrelated conversation. Then it was like, well, maybe we should just get an office.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was like, oh, well, there's this space over here that's available. It's like, oh, interesting. And then we started talking about the pros and the cons. And it's like, actually, this sounds kind of cool to have like a dedicated space. And like we could set it up this way and we can do these things with it.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I still remember fondly when we first got our first office for Drip. It was tiny. It was just me and Rob, but it felt like a good growing up step, and definitely helped with collaboration. I mean, I think these days a lot of people are talking about how offices are not necessary at all, and I think that certainly you can get by with a lot using remote tools, but there's still something to be said for being, face to face in a room, and I guess not in someone's apartment too, right? That's what you guys are doing right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It feels kind of exciting. We looked at offices in the very beginning and we were like, too expensive, not worth it. And Joel was willing to like put us up. And we considered it again a handful of months ago. And it was still kind of like, no, we're pretty happy where we are. And then it was just like this last time we thought about it, and like all 3 of us were kind of like, actually, that sounds kind of nice. And I don't know quite like what changed or why. Maybe it's that we have like the revenue to support it, or like it's been 2 years that Joel has been hosting us. Joel and his wife have been very magnanimously letting us take over their condo during the day.
Yep.
And it's like, okay, given that we can definitely afford this now, and there are a lot of benefits to it, maybe we graduate to having a real space.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
so cool. I'm kind of excited about it.
How many days a week do you guys think you'll be in the office?
It's a good question. I definitely work a lot better going to a place. So I would tend towards 5, maybe working from home 1 day a week or something. It's near enough to Spencer that he could easily pop down for a little bit and then leave kind of thing. So, and we do that sometimes, like come in for the morning, go home in the afternoon, or vice versa. So yeah, it's near the climbing gym that we went to when you could go to climbing gyms, which maybe one day will be a thing again.
Yeah.
And it's next to a park and it's dog friendly and all that. So there's some nice benefits to it.
That's cool.
Yeah. So we'll see. That'll be kind of a cool milestone.
Yeah, for sure. And I wonder if like real estate is or like renting commercial spaces is at a discount right now, given the state of the world.
Yeah. This was originally going to be rented to somebody, and then that fell through because of COVID reasons.
Yep.
So part of the reason it's available is that. It's interesting to see our work life shifting around. Like, I sort of knew it was the good old days when it was like the three of us in the bedroom. And like I tried to like take pictures and appreciate it and enjoy it. And I did, but also now I already kind of feel nostalgia for it. Where it's like it's already, more complicated, more moving pieces. Like we're graduating to bigger things and whatnot. And it's exciting, but it's also like, oh, it was kind of beautiful and simple and interesting when it was like this small thing.
Yeah. It kind of always interests me when a company is fairly like localized, like you guys are all going to be in the same office together, and yet you also have teammates who are remote. And like, how do you kind of bridge that, preventing too much like knowledge transfer from just happening over voice in the office that doesn't get disseminated out to remote folks?
I think it's going to be hard.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a real challenge. This is actually one of the things that I'm hoping to have like the coach help me with.
Yeah.
Is making sure our processes around that are good. Mm-hmm. When we're able, I'd like to do, pretty regular face-to-face meetings, like get-togethers. Yeah, the day-to-day, like, okay, we've decided something. Does everyone know it? Is going to be hard. And I've already seen like a couple like, oh, we talked about this thing, and then I told another person about the thing, and the message didn't quite transfer the right way. And so like person A thought person B was, it's just, it's hard.
Yeah, these are hard problems.
It is, yeah. I think that's going to actually be increasingly challenging. Like we're going to have to work on that harder and harder as we add, because like Mikey starting full time in a couple weeks will be like now there's a full time person who is remote. It's like, okay, that's a real challenge now.
How has like Twist been working out for, like, does it get used a lot? Does it mostly happen through, most communication happen through other channels, or like?
We use Twist a fair amount, yeah. Generally, it works pretty well. Putting stuff in writing in a threaded form is like a pretty good way of not getting the message messed up. It's like, okay, here's the written I have noticed, like, if I take a conversation I had with Joel and Spencer and then have it with somebody else, sometimes that's when it kind of disconnects.
Telephone game.
Yeah, telephone game versus like I took the time to write a message that has the details in it, and now like anyone can see it and can go back to it, and there's no like faulty memory, no like fewer transmission errors. So Twist has been pretty good. I think we're going to stick with using that for a while. And I think I need to kind of push more communication into it, actually. Because like, oh, I text this person or email this person, or there's a linear thread for this thing, and there's a GitHub issue for that thing.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of places to look for stuff.
I know. I've noticed that, and not in like a bad way, but on just some of the Tuple projects that I've been working on. It's like, there's always like a decision of like, I have this whole palette of different communication channels in front of me. Which one do I use for this?
Yes. Yeah. We could get more consistent about that. It would be good. But sometimes it feels like, all right, text feels right for this for whatever reason. Something that I think will continually evolve.
The big learning is like, there's not really a one size fits all solution for this either. I don't think, it's like, if it's conversation around, a particular project and there's like an existing thread for that, then co-locating conversations around that in that place is good. But then if there's just a more general question that's not tied to a specific thing, well, then that probably belongs in a different place. And so, it's like, I think would be difficult to find one place that works. And I think we've all experienced busy Slack channels and see how like that's not, Slack workspaces are not as the ideal way to do this. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So we're also taking a retreat.
Oh,
yeah.
In real life retreat.
We're coming up on the next quarter. And I think one of the key things that will help having remote people and having more people working on rowing the boat is like setting clear directions. And so I think one of the goals of the retreat is very much to set OKRs. So set some quarterly goals, and also just like check in with each other as well, where it's like, okay, it's kind of like phase 3 of Tuple is happening right now, where like the team is expanding and getting remote and whatnot. And it's like, okay, we should check in again. Like, how's everybody doing? Where do we want this to go? What are our ambitions? What are our goals? That kind of thing.
Yeah. No, that's good. Those are really important conversations to have, because you can definitely get kind of mired in the day-to-day, just chipping off, the next thing to build or whatever. And if you don't step back and look at the forest for the trees, it's stuff can start to get lost. So I think that's a good cadence to keep up.
Yep, I agree. Yeah, it's hard to sometimes have those bigger conversations when you don't feel like you have the space for it. Where it's like, okay, I know you're working on this and I'm working on that, and like we have like 30 minutes before my next call. Hey, by the way, how are you actually doing?
Right. Right.
Are you happy with this thing? Are you upset about that thing? How do you feel about like how I'm doing? Like what feedback do you have for me? Like that stuff's just kind of impossible to squeeze in. So we're going for 2 nights. So we'll have like one sort of full day where we know like all we're doing today is talking about Tuple and sitting by the lake, go to lake house. I'm looking forward to that. I think it'll be useful for us. And I can also work with my team to provide appropriate frameworks, tools, artifacts, and benchmarks that they can use to develop and align their strategy.
Sounds like synergy to me.
Yeah. One of the coaches was like, I have a document that I sometimes use to guide leadership retreats. And I was like, great, send it to me. And it was just like full of this stuff. And I was like, I can't ask these questions. They're going to laugh at me.
Yeah. You can ask them ironically, but not.
Yeah,
not
exactly.
for real. Yeah.
So, all right. Shall we wrap it here?
Yeah, let's wrap it.
Cool. Notes of the show.
Notes for the show can be found at artofproductpodcast.com.
Thank you for listening.
See ya.